Hi everyone, and welcome to Jane Talks Real. It's Slayer Sunday, where I'll be talking about and reviewing all the episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in order. Today I'm looking at Season 2, Episode 17, Passion. The episode begins at the Bronze with Angel spying on Buffy while his voiceover talks about passion. The three friends and Cordelia leave the Bronze as Angel noms down on some woman, nom nom, and switches his vamp face off. Buffy gets into bed as Angel spies on her, then he creepily strokes her hair, and into the credits we go. Buffy wakes up the next morning, and what the hell is this face? It's so creepy! She opens a letter on her pillow, which is a drawing of her sleeping, and she tells Giles, while Cordelia freaks out because she invited Angel into her car, so now he can get to her whenever he wants. Buffy asks if there's a reverse invitation spell.
No shoes, no pulse, no service kind of thing.
And Xander is rude to Jonathan and his gal pal who come in for a book.
This is the school library, Xander.
Since when?
Realising they can't carry on their private conversation, they all leave and then continue in the damn corridor. Okay guys, whatever. Anyway, Buffy says that she's worried because when Angel was stalking Drusilla, he killed her family first, and she's gonna have to tell Joyce something. Giles says he'll find a spell and tells her to calm down.
So what you're basically saying is just ignore him and maybe he'll go away?
Jenny talks to Willow, who is sporting an emoji backpack and butterfly sweater combo, and asks her to cover her class the next day because she's going to be late. Willow agrees, and why is the word milk written on the whiteboard behind her, as well as if 3 separate times? Buffy snatches Willow away, but Giles lingers in the doorway and asks Jenny for help. Jenny gives him a book and asks how things are going, and he gets mad.
I know you feel betrayed.
Yes, well, that's one of the unpleasant side effects of betrayal.
Jenny explains that her duty is to her people and she never meant to hurt anyone, and admits she's in love with Giles. Giles just kind of stares at her and says she needs to make amends with Buffy. Joyce asks Buffy what's wrong, and seriously, is no one going to eat any of this turkey? Anyway, Buffy cautiously tells Joyce that she and Angel were dating, and since their breakup he's been stalkery and not to invite him in if he turns up. Willow is on the phone later, and no, seriously, what is sheep? Willow has it on her notice board here, and Xander also had it in his room in the last episode. It's gotta mean something, right? Because I very much doubt these two are that into agriculture. Her and Buffy talk about Angel, of course, but then Willow decides to put fish food into a tank that's obviously devoid of fish. She finds a note on her bed, and oh, there are her fish! Gross. Willow stays over at Buffy's, and is this the first use of garlic being used to ward off vampires? It's not something I noticed coming up much on this show. Buffy says it's weird that Angel is so different, but Willow points out that Buffy is the forefront of his mind no matter what form he's in. True, but I miss the boring, non-murdery Angel. Drusilla brings Spike a puppy, and no, if that puppy or any dog for that matter dies, I'm gonna burn Sunnydale to the ground. Spike doesn't want to be fed like a baby, and Angel makes things worse by being his usual dickish self. Drusilla loves that the boys are fighting over her, until she gets a vision of an enemy trying to destroy them. Jenny goes to the magic shop and asks for an orb of Thessalit, so the shopkeeper closes this tiny ass curtain and reveals his orbs to her. He recognises who she is because of her uncle, and she explains that she's working on a computer program to translate an ancient text to restore Angel's soul. It's time for school, and holy bejeebus, what the hell is Xander wearing? Ah yes, today I shall wear my ugliest pyjamas. Buffy spots Jenny and rushes over to her to tell her that Giles misses her, but she's still mad at her. Giles says that he has the uninvite spell, and then it's nighttime and Willow nails a cross to her wall. Cordelia picks up a letter and gives it to her, and it's a picture of sleepy nap time Joyce. Joyce gets home only to find Angel on her lawn asking for help. Joyce tells him to sod off, but he's persistent. She tries to open the door and Angel blabs that he boinked Buffy, so Joyce rushes inside, only for Angel to find himself stuck outside because Willow is doing the uninvite spell, and Buffy slams the door in his face. Okay, I need to pause it there for a minute to point something out. It is pitch black outside, and yet Giles said he had the uninvite spell just as they arrived at school, which we established in When She Was Bad is around 8:15 AM. We also established in Bad Eggs that school finishes at 2:30 PM. So even if they waited out the school day to perform the uninvite spell, which Giles says was pretty simple, It should still be light outside. The magic shop owner said it was around Valentine's Day, so I looked it up and the sun sets in February in California around 6:30 p.m, giving them a whole 4 hours to leave school, go to Willow's, perform the spell, nail the cross to the wall, do the spell on Cordelia's car, which must be at Willow's because she's there, and then get to Buffy's to perform the spell before Angel even became a problem. And as an added bonus, Joyce would be out at the time. What have they been doing all this time?
I shouldn't have stopped for that haircut.
Anyway, Giles goes to see Jenny and she says she's kind of busy, but wants to see him later. And he invites her to his house. Drusilla goes to get information from the magic shop owner and Jenny successfully translates the text she needs, so she puts it onto a floppy disk. Yes kids, this is a floppy disk, the embodiment of the save icon on your computer. Yes, I know, it's super retro. As she does a printout, she notices Angel sat in her class like a total phoebe. He says he knows what she's up to and smashes her orb against the blackboard, which is not only a horrible mix of capital and lowercase letters, but also, what the hell is a ruxbubud? And who are you calling fat? Jenny tries to get out of the classroom, but the door is now locked, even though Giles left it open, and Angel smashes her computer, setting fire to her printout. He attacks her and she runs for it, and oh, now someone locks the fucking school. Angel chases her, and this is one time I don't mind the lack of lighting because it looks pretty cool. Wait, isn't this where the gang were having their loud private conversation earlier? This is outside! Run, Jenny! Try and flag down a car! Or get into a house! Not continue in the school where you know Angel can follow you. But no, she breaks back into the building and uses the ghost face approach to slowing down her pursuer. It helps for a moment until she runs upstairs and gets caught in front of the most cinematic window in the building. Then he breaks her neck, and holy shit, they legit killed off a main character! This show does not play around. Giles goes to Buffy's and gets the uninvite book from Willow so he can do his own apartment, which means that not only did Giles invite Angel in at some point, but also there is no sense of urgency with these people! Buffy has to deal with the fallout of Joyce finding out that she lost her virginity, and what follows is a really heartfelt and well-acted scene between Sarah Michelle Gellar and Christine Sutherland. And it's worth watching the episode for this alone. Giles gets home to find a rose on his door and music playing from inside. He calls out to Jenny and finds a note saying upstairs, and oh my god, my heart is broken before he's even hit the staircase. He sees her body in his bed and then the police are there. Giles rings Buffy while Angel watches and both she and Willow break down. Worried about what he's going to do, the four teens race to Giles' house as he arms himself to go out and kill Angel. They get there too late and Buffy says he'll have gone to face Angel at the factory. Xander is glad someone is finally taking action, and I've got to say, I don't disagree. Buffy agrees too, but says it will get him killed. Spike calls Angel crazy for what he's done and says he preferred Angel with a soul. Hard agree. Angel says not to worry, he's got everything under control, but Giles sets fire to the place and starts beating ass. Spike holds Drusilla back so she won't be able to help Angel, but he doesn't need it because he's a centuries-old vampire and Giles is a middle-aged librarian. Buffy gets involved so Drusilla wheels Spike away and the two get into a pretty awesome fight that utilizes the different levels of the factory set. Buffy gets the upper hand, but Angel points out that Giles is dangerously close to the fire, so she chooses to save him rather than kill Angel and he gets away. Giles is furious, so Buffy punches him and they both burst into tears. Giles and Buffy have a moment at Jenny's grave and the subtle vocals in the overlaying song were provided by Anthony Stewart Head himself, which adds another layer to the scene. Buffy apologizes for not killing Angel before, but she says she's ready now. Willow and her hideous skirt becomes the temporary substitute teacher, and as she moves some books, the disc containing the translation for Angel's cure falls down between the desk. Wow, okay, so we have quite a lot to discuss here, and while it's not a favourite of mine, it does fall into the top 5 favourite episodes of one of my regular viewers, Graham Nicholas. Thanks for your continued support, and I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a ballsy episode as it kills off its first main character. I know Jesse died in The Harvest, but he'd only be introduced in the episode before, whereas Jenny had featured in 12 episodes, so her death carried more weight. Her connection to Giles made it all the more heartbreaking, but that's kind of the thing. I'm not super sad that she died. I could take her or leave her as a character, but Giles' reaction to her death is what makes it so upsetting. Jenny's death was Joss Whedon's message to the fans that no one is safe. And he meant that because Jenny may be the first, but she's far from the last main character that will die in this show. I have two major problems with this episode. The first is the aforementioned lack of urgency using the uninvite spell, which just seems like such an oversight. And I know why they did it, because it's more dramatic to have the spell be put in place as Angel is trying to enter the building, but holes in the character judgment like that really wind me up. The second problem I have is Angel. I know the episode doesn't work without him, but he's such an unredeemable, punchable douchebag that I find him irritating to watch. As I said before, I prefer my bad guys to have more depth of character, like Impada and Spike in later seasons, than be straight up dicks. I'm mad that we have to keep putting up with him, and I wasn't a fan of his voiceover in this episode. Blah 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 passion, blah blah blah, go away now. Having said that, the episode has some amazing acting in it and great moments between characters. But I think we could have done with a slightly extended scene outside the burning factory between Buffy and Giles, because the moment we got was rather fleeting and therefore the emotional impact was cut short. This episode is the proper turning point where shit gets serious, and the mini cliffhanger sets us up nicely for the season finale. This is our last major Angel heavy episode before then, thank goodness, although I know we do get a scene in I Only Have Eyes for You. Before we go to the death count, I've got to point out a fun bit of foreshadowing where Willow mentions having to go to Xander's to watch a Charlie Brown Christmas and says that he does the Snoopy dance. We will indeed witness Xander doing that same dance in season 5 when he tries to prove his identity to Willow. So we have 2 deaths to add to our list, 2 humans, both killed by Angel, the rando lady at the beginning, and of course Jenny Calendar, who tried her best to get away but couldn't quite make it. So that brings our running total to 15 humans, 4 transformations, 28 vampires, 1 zombie, 1 mummy, 3 demons, and 1 monster. So there you have it. That was Passion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, or come say hi on social media. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit that like button, it really does mean a lot. Or consider subscribing if you want more videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching, I'll speak to you soon, and don't let the vampires bite.